Another 2 days in a row with a conversation. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Because, well, I feel like I kind of stepped away for a little bit and owe it to people. Hey, what's up? Is that Diana Francisco? Hi, do you win? Should hit that like button now. Good to see you. I feel like I stepped away for a little bit. I don't know. I guess I'll start off by saying I don't know. I think people are tired of hearing the excuse of, "Hey, I'm dealing with mental health issues," but I can't really explain it, but I did see something yesterday that helped me a little bit, sort of maybe understand what's going on. And I'm driving to work, driving down to my office. Um, but I hit these peaks and valleys way more than I really want to. And there doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason behind it, and that is starting to, like, I don't know. I'm trying to like push through them the best I can. I think there's a small realization that because the midweek hump is coming to a close, like it's a weird door to close, and that's making me a bit emotional on things. But just it's one of those, like, overarching, like, I step away because I don't want to put myself in a place where I'm just sitting at a computer screen moping and not feeling good, you know. Yeah, Trey, we're next week is going to be the last episode. Just having it just seemed like the time for myself, for others. But this week has been an improvement over a lot of things, like over the past couple of weeks. So that's why I've been, like, turning on the Carversations, because this is a really easy way for me to communicate with you guys, especially, like, first thing in the morning. It kind of gets the creative juices flowing a little bit, and this represents more of, like, how people, I think, discuss things a lot of times, is this sort of off the cuff, let's talk about, you know, what's going on. What did Trey say? What am I gonna do from now on? I am gonna do, so essentially the schedule will kind of flop around a little bit. We'll be definitely doing game streams a little bit more often, at least one day a week. I will be booking people again for Ready Set Shag. This Thursday, tomorrow, is actually Drunk 3PO, so we'll be doing that. Plus I have other guests lined up. And Wednesday nights are going to go to just a solo catch up pop culture type commentary thing, and I'll work other things into, but we'll probably just keep the Shagcast brand for Wednesday night. And of course, like, and I kept saying to even the panel, and I said, hey, you know, this is for sure not a goodbye. We will likely do things. We were already talking about Mr. Grant Gregory and Common Nerd, us doing, like, maybe Millennium rewatch and commentary on that show. So there's a lot of stuff that we still plan on doing together, but yeah, I just, after 100, it'll be like 114 episodes that we get to, and that's a lot. And yeah, we'll go from there. There's in like some aspects I feel a bit rudderless. So, and to be fair, and this is something I don't know if I've said to you guys, but to be fair, one of the things that I really want to really start doing, and it's hard for me at this very moment, but is concentrating on my side of content, whereas a lot of my content in the past, and this way this channel has been built, has been with other people, and they have been invaluable to the growth. But I'm trying to now separate myself from, I'm trying to separate my voice from everyone else's. So rather than being on a bunch of panel shows on my channel, people will start to understand my content directly from me and not soundboarding between other guests. Because the reality is that on panel shows like that, it's very easy to not fully get out what it is that you mean. And sometimes you end up agreeing with the group just to do it, or out of convenience, or to move something along. So doing my own thing is the goal right now. And again, like, so we do the content. I still collaborate with other people, but the majority of it will be me. And if I do something again with a larger group, I will likely start something like a channel for that. Yeah, the pressure. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where it comes in. I love all those guys. There's no bad blood between anyone. Not at all. It's just a mutual, like, hey, I think this has run its course. We're all tired. I'm tired. I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I thought about this stream today because of everything that's happening with the news, largely surrounding. I mean, there's so much big news right now between Trump, Biden, and now with like pop culture stuff in the YouTube sphere, you have this news regarding Chris Tyson, Mr. Beast. There was the Dr. Disrespect stuff. And I don't know, I thought it valuable to comment on information and having all the information. Because the one thing about yo, what's up, Mazda? The Lex shit. Wait, what? One thing I will say is it's easy to come to conclusions, especially when it's like regarding kids. Those allegations with Chris Tyson, or whatever his name is, Ava. And that shit makes me mad. I think it makes anyone mad. I think more people commenting on what they are interested in is a good thing, especially if it's from a different perspective. Yeah, and here's the thing, is like, I don't necessarily want people to stop commenting on stuff. I think it's good for people to comment and give their thoughts on it. So there's two parts to the title. It's one saying, like, understanding, like, for a lot of this stuff that we comment on, we don't have all the information on. And then on the other side of it is realizing, like, sometimes we're going to be wrong, we're going to get it wrong, and then we have to sort of correct that record, or be okay with people being like, hey, I fucked up on that, I fucked up on it, now we got to move on to the next thing. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, I don't know, like that stuff, like when I look at all the stuff that, the YouTube videos that come out about it, when I look at his old tweets, like, I don't think someone in his position, I don't know, it's hard to gather my thoughts fully on it. I mean, that stuff, when I look at it, and I don't care when it was, I don't care if he was 18 and doing it, or if it was last week. I mean, it's pretty bad, in my opinion, if someone else knew about it, didn't say something, especially to his employer. or even, it's not even about saying something to your employer. Like, honestly, I don't even know if there's any reason to bring it up to an employer. You bring it up to the police. Like, if you know something like that's going on, you tell the police, because that shit's awful, and then their life goes down the tubes from there. Maybe that's where I kind of go with it, is like, when people don't go to the proper authority on it, and they do the high school shit. Yeah, the dude's weird. I mean, yeah, the texting kids thing, and then there's even, when I was on Side Scrollers, they were talking about how he was like going on trips with kids and stuff, like in a camper and stuff like that. And like, again, if this is all true, it's pretty gnarly, and there should be no, like, you can't really. Yeah. Yeah, the communication is bad. And and the thing is too, the fucked up part of it is that a lot of these people have gotten off. You see all these TikTok accounts, or that go and track down pedophiles. They basically get them talking, find them in Roblox chat rooms, whatever, and they get them and they approach them on hidden camera and stuff like that. Say, hey, we just want to talk. We just want to talk. We just want to talk. And it's like, a lot of those guys go unpunished because they don't. A lot of those guys go unpunished because they don't actually do anything other than text. Yeah, those are bait, right? Are they really? Are most of them fake? That's fucked up. That shouldn't be a thing at all. That's the other thing about a lot of the online shit, is like there's so much like fake setup stuff. Like, I wonder how much of those, like, you ever see those videos on they're like those guys in a mall, and they're like, hey, do you trust your spouse? And the girl's like, yeah, totally. And the guy's like, yeah, totally. And then he's like, oh, let me see your phone. Let's do a test. And they hand it over with like dozens of text messages from some dude that they're like, why would you fucking hand over your phone? Do you not think this guy's gonna go through? Yeah, so, but yeah, I think the big point of a lot of this conversation I wanted to have was, but even again, even in that moment, I don't know, stuff's hard to discuss because on like surface level, when you look at the Chris Tyson stuff, the Ava Tyson stuff, on the surface it looks really bad, and the information we have does not look good at all. It looks very inappropriate. And I thought about this because someone in my tweet yesterday basically said, like, none of this is substantiated. The person, one of the persons was denying that it even happened, the victim. And so it just got me thinking, like, oh, did I jump the gun on this? And they were also claiming, like, I was pushing for, or others in the thread were pushing for cancel culture, and we are against that anyway. So that's sort of where it all, like, comes back around, as I thought, well, it's a fair point, because, like, what I don't want to do is engage in that. But again, what I've seen, and even in his tweet, admitting in a very similar way to like how Dr. Disrespect admitted, like, there was inappropriate communication. There was stuff that didn't look good, And it's like, well, yeah, and because of that, I avoid other people's children for this exact reason. And when they're look, yeah, oh yeah, 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 yes, no, that's a really good point. That's a really really good point. Um, and again, there is a big difference. I don't remember what the age disparity was when he was allegedly talking with a 13-year-old. But like at that age, like there's no like a 13-year-old is young. It's I mean it's the first year of a teenager. It's like puberty. And someone who is 16, 17, no business being around that. And then furthermore, taking someone's kids like on a camping trip or something like that. And I even framed it as on side scrolls. I said parents do weird shit when famous people are involved. When you have someone who's famous, they will put their children in a spot, and I believe that they're trying to garner some sort of clout, like, hey, my kids spend a week with Mr. Beast's producer, or they're, maybe they'll get something. Same thing with like Michael Jackson. Like all these allegations against Michael Jackson for so long, and people are still letting their kids go play at Neverland. They don't care about that. So, and even like the whole like tiaras and toddlers thing. It's very similar. Like in that respect, like it's not for the kids. Like the kids aren't being like, oh, I want to go dress up like an adult and walk around on stage and pretend I'm all sexy or whatever. No, it's the parents. Like it's the parents' bullshit. So I don't fault people for reacting the way they do to the news of Ava Tyson, because like everyone should be on the same page when it comes to protecting children. Now, if it's wrong, if it turns out that none of that happened and he's just a fucking weirdo who likes lolly porn, whatever the fuck it's called, and like, and that was depicting, a real person or, someone's daughter, that's fucking awful. And it's fucking weird, and it should tell you something about that person. But if the other things aren't true, then okay, we can correct the record and we can move on from there. We can certainly judge them for being a weirdo for liking that sort of thing. And to me, to talk about it further, to me there's some level of guilt because they have, that person has separated themselves and is no longer employed by Mr. Beast. So I think like, oh, Chris really knows he fucked up big time, and is like, okay, I'm fully stepping away from this, and let bygones be bygones. That dude's rich anyway; he can do whatever he wants. That's it. That's all. I mean, so I think in some respect, he's guilty of being a fucking weirdo. I don't think anyone can deny that, and I think we all know that. I think that's what he's admitting to. In the tweet of being a weirdo and liking that kind of, and being involved with that kind of pornography. But I do think there's a decent conversation surrounding information and how it's given out and how people react to certain things. I don't have a problem with commentary, but I have a problem with unfair commentary when it comes to correcting the record and making sure that like what you're saying is true. There's a lot of great accounts that I follow that that break things down fully, the issue you start to run into is that people don't want to hear an extended explanation of something because they're too caught up in the TikTok algorithm of like, if this can't be explained in 30 seconds, I don't care. Like a lot of these explanation videos are, they're 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes long, or whatever the full TikTok is now, or I mean, YouTube Shorts a minute, but I feel like even YouTube videos are dying in the way that a lot of people have trouble sitting through an entire explanation of something because they're so used to like, give me short form, like just talk to me like quick. But a lot of that stuff can't be explained. And the perfect example was it was an older it wasn't a debate, it was like Charlie Kirk's organization. He was at a college, and then he was taking questions from the audience, and someone was basically like, I don't think you know what socialism is. And there was a hold on a second, guys. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. I had to take a work call. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Help me out. If you want to support your creators, set speed to 5, make it watch time for the whole video double. Anyways, I was watching I was watching this. I follow a couple of creators on TikTok who will break down misinformation surrounding statistics, and then this one in particular, he's a constitutional scholar and I believe professor, was breaking down Charlie Kirk's explanation of socialism to this college student, and basically saying like he's speaking half truths. He's saying like he's using socialism as an umbrella term when there's socialism everywhere. There's socialism in Europe. There's socialism here in the United States. He's not distinguishing between the varying degrees of socialism or even communism, which is important when you're trying to make an argument or like really stick it to somebody, because again, there's aspects of socialism that exist in Europe and that do work in really good ways, and there's some here in the United States that are beneficial and do work, but full-on communism or anarcho-communism or authoritarian communism, like, yes, that doesn't work. It never has. It has led to many people being dying, etc. But just saying socialism is evil and is, he's like, it's misrepresenting things. And I thought this is what people need more of, because it's taking information that is given. Because, as much as I can agree with Charlie on some things, like, he's not going to correct his record on it. He's not gonna take the L and say, hey, at this debate I had said X, Y, and Z about socialism. A better way to put it would be this, and then break down those things. Because he makes a lot of claims about how he's an expert on it. No, I didn't go to college. I'm well read. I can tell you all these countries that failed. Blah 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 blah. But I should find the video. I think I maybe even bookmarked it. I should find it and share it in Discord so you guys can see what I mean. It's I just think it's important. No, Charlie is right. Now. No. Yeah, and again, there is examples of it. There is examples of it, but there's also examples of it working to some degree. Again, it's a nuanced discussion that's really hard to have when you have one guy at his pulpit, the other person below, trying to flame him. It's not like, again, you and I could probably sit down and have the conversation, Trey, that on some level, like, the United States has some level of socialism attached to it. Has it collapsed our society? Nope. Have thousands of people starved and died from it? Nope. You could make a counter argument that it's not good for the system. It's not good for the whole. It's a drain on resources. But to Charlie, or to the constitutional scholar's point, it was misrepresented in a way that didn't give full context. So that's what I mean is, he is right in some regards, but it's not not in totality is what I mean. And again, when you're discussing these points, I think it's important to, when you're coming off as an expert on something, if you do get something wrong, I think it's important that you correct that record, because it doesn't make you look weak. It makes you look informed. And there's, humility can go a long way, I think. I believe that humility can go a long way because it shows a more human side, and that something that people can identify with, and not just a, hey, I'm the all-knowing, all-seeing eye on the subject. Not budging. It just doesn't look good. And it teaches a bad lesson. No, just dig your heels in and double down. Sorry, I saw you said a lot, Trey, but I couldn't read it all because I'm driving. Yeah. But I don't know overall, like, what, and this is not me, please don't take this as me as advocating for socialism, for crying out loud. Please be smarter than thinking that I'm advocating for socialism right now. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying that some people speak half-truths on the matter. No. I'm not saying you need to be an expert to comment on it or even say anything. I mean, most people, what I'm saying is that a lot of people will get things wrong in regards to subject matter. And I do think it's important, if you're claiming to be an expert, that you do have the information right. You are able to articulate it in a nuanced way. And again, this is speaking specifically to how Charlie. I'll post the video, and maybe I'll do a breakdown of it just so people can see. Like, it is, the guy takes a lot of time to really break down what he's saying. When you claiming to be an expert in something, I think requires a bit of nuance especially when you're actually inviting a question and trying to have a debate, however big or small it might be. So, Professor Savage, Dad, I see you. In that case, there needs to be a nuanced approach and discussion regarding it. You don't need to be an expert to have a discussion on it, but it certainly helps in your articulation of the subject matter. Again, this goes to like the whole like argument from authority or whatever. Like you don't need to. I can still be very informed on something and not have a degree in it, but someone with a degree in it might have more experience with the subject matter. It's just very, very likely. You can't. There's really no way around that. But again, not in every case. Not in every case. I mean, I shouldn't have to annotate everything, but that's what I mean. It's like some people skate through school and they fail upwards and they get a degree in something that they're not well versed in. Others spend time, watching videos. They read books on their own. They read documents. They read science journals, whatever, and they become really smart that way. A good example of a person like that is Eric Weinstein. Eric Weinstein has his doctorate in mathematics, but he is very well read on like quantum mechanics, and he's like brilliant with like music too. Like he's like did he go to Juilliard and study music? No, but he could play a mean guitar as far as like I've seen and how he discusses music and music theory. It's pretty cool. Oh, excuse me. And information's important. A lot of us make knee-jerk reactions, which it's totally a human thing. So many of us want to have, especially nowadays, like internet cloud's a thing. It's hard to escape from. Everybody wants to be heard and seen and understood and their point taken. So when something like going back to the Ava Tyson thing, when something like that pops up involving kids, everybody wants their say, and they want to the goal is I'm protecting kids because I don't want some weirdo thinking it's okay to engage with a 13-year-old child, 13 or 14-year-old child. That's a child. Everyone knows it. It's a child. Don't mess with children. Every single person is for that. This is why we need gender studies degrees. You have to be an expert to have a gender. I can't speak on being a man because I don't have a degree on being a man. I actually have a video. I have a video script in the works right now discussing like colloquialisms, and I can't even say that word properly. I need to learn how to in order to make this video, because so many people, like especially on TikTok, when you go into debates on TikTok, there's this like, I mean, the weirdest motherfuckers are like trying to debate on some like sort of scientific stage, and I question their knowledge on it. They'll say like, "What's your source on that?" When they don't even like flinch. All they do is like talk about stuff, and and their sources are "trust me, bro." But the guest can't possibly have an opinion on something. But we don't, like, everyone. Yeah, everything's source. What's your source on that? Oh, you come to this debate without a source? Like, you're not providing any sources. And when people use terms like man, woman, male, female, whatever, like it's all, we tie it all to biology because colloquially, like, it's just man and a woman. Sure, you can if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, I guess you could say you can really, but like that's not how people normally talk, and that is why I'll say to someone, like, people aren't being like transphobic on something. They're just saying, no, that's not a man. Oh, well, male, Man is the gender term. It's not the bleh. And you're like, no, that's not what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not being, when I have a thought in my head, I'm not thinking like, what's the scientific term for this? It's no. Like, if I could tell by looking at that person that they were born a man, a male, there you go, done and done. I'm not dehumanizing them because I'm not. It's just that person with the pink hair and the little poodle curls sitting down to eat, getting mad at their waiter because they're misgendered. That's a man. I'm sorry. It's like, it's how it goes. I don't know. I don't even know how we got here. But now I'm upset. But there's a lot of, those people, they're incapable of having like in-depth talks and conversations. What's up, Metastep? Gay marriage acceptance equals Pandora's box. I don't know exactly what that means, but again, I don't care. I do not care how people live their lives. As an adult, people should live their lives how they want. Like, an adult is 18. That's it, bottom line. There might be a few cases out there where people under that age have the ability to, or have gone through enough therapy and talks through the proper way to make decisions outside of that. I don't care how people live their lives. It does not bother me, does not affect me. And I do think that people need to engage in that a little bit more. Again, you can agree, or you can think that, gay marriage or whatever is a slippery slope for society. I don't agree with that, but that, I just don't, at the end of the day, I don't care, because it doesn't present, in my eyes, there's nothing that is presenting a threat to humanity in that way, because as creatures whose like purpose is to reproduce and pass on their genes, like, that will be how we do it. It's not like being gay is going to take over everything. That's not going to happen. I think that, I just think that people just in general need to spend more time in their lane. And this might sound exhausting to a lot of people because you followed me long enough, and but for those who, but for the off chance that someone sees this because they stopped in after the fact, or who might be here and have never seen this, like, I can't say enough that people's lack of purpose in life drives them out of their own lane into places that they don't necessarily belong. And that's why we have these cycles of like outrage and almost like cultural collapse, is because people just can't find enough purpose in their own life to, what is this person doing? Okay. There's not enough purpose in their own life, and they need to insert themselves into other people's lives in order to have purpose. This is called inventing problems for yourself. This is not a direct attack on anyone, by the way. I'm just saying, I'm speaking in generalities because this is what I'm seeing overall. We're on social media, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. So we do see things that we are against and that we don't feel comfortable with. And we're going to get people who want to comment on that, and that's fine. It's when people make it all about them. It's when people make it their whole personality, right? You see all this drama with Comicsgate and Rippaverse, right? Whether you're on Rippaverse side, whether you're on Comicsgate side, there are people making their entire personalities about that. That's all they do. That is someone who has lost their way, who doesn't know what to do with their life outside of drama that doesn't concern them. Right? They don't have purpose. They don't wake up and say, this is what I have to do today. And on some level, we're all guilty of it because we live in the very, very best time that has ever been. 2 generations ago, we were wondering where clean water would come from. That's it, by the way. Like 3 generations ago, indoor plumbing wasn't even that common. And now you can get whatever you want in 2 hours. Oh, you need a new toilet brush? No problem. Just go on Amazon. They'll deliver it right to your door. Your fat ass doesn't even have to get up out of your chair to get it. And you could argue that the people in power, that this is their plan, right? Like you guys have all seen WALL-E. That's the plan. Disney came out and told you that's the plan. They're gonna run the country into the ground. They're gonna run the world into the ground. They're gonna put you on a ship, and they're gonna have complete control over you because you're gonna just be a fat slob that gulps their nutrients in through a straw. And you're not gonna be able to get around because not only because of being in space, but because you don't need to. You just cruise right around in your little wheelchair. There's no reason to try. And you're seeing that now. People make excuses for not like even walking down the street. I live 2 blocks from my grocery store. Every chance I get, I walk there to get groceries in 100-degree heat. Not because I want to prove anything, but because just like no one does it. No one does it. No one, like everybody should be doing that if you live close enough. I mean, if you live 20 miles from your grocery store, don't fucking walk to the grocery store. Be smart. The hardest part about life now, like, you didn't have a choice 3 generations ago. Our great-great-grandparents didn't have a choice but to figure it out. Otherwise, they were dead. Their families were dead. Even the poorest people in this country find a way to survive because everybody's taking care of each other. Because we have all these amenities. Because we have excess. That wasn't the case. You live in the very best time right now. Because of it, you have to dig really deep, like in there, to find what it is that you want in order to make it. And it sucks because, I do it. Everybody does this thing where we continue to make excuses about why we can't exceed. Oh, someone else did it. I can't do it. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Everybody, again, now more than ever, people have the capacity to succeed. I gotta go back and read some of this shit you guys wrote. Yeah, I mean, I do think, so Diana, I do think it to some extent that, yeah, no, most people don't know their neighbors. The sense of closeness is gone. Oh, totally. Yeah, and I'm also guilty of that. I don't know a lot of the people on my street. I know my neighbors, and my neighbors are the nicest people. I know quite a few people on my street, but like towards the other end of my street, I don't know them. Which again is like, but people used to know him. But even walking 5 miles is great. People should do it occasionally. People should be occasionally walking that far to get something because it's just good for you. Back end parking, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Back end parking is the best parking. And again, and even Weasel says our nation world is in a state of regression because we stopped reinforcing a standard level of mediocrity. We shame those who display superior qualities in areas most become insecure over. No, you should walk it. Well, no, you almost have to, dude. You have to walk every day. You want your body to stay healthy? Get out there and just walk for a mile. It's not far. Oh, it's all downhill to town and bring grocery up. Oh yeah. That's true. Well, I'm not saying go grocery shopping 5 miles away, but just walking to town is probably good for you. Even at advanced age, they say even at advanced age, keeping your joints um keeping them limber moving, being stagnant is the worst thing you can do. I see Metastep. I see that. Okay, there you go, Diane. That's what I mean. You're constantly moving. That's awesome. Yep. A body in motion stays in motion. Well, paying for the hour instead of paying for the job done does encourage folks to do ineffective work to meander the clock. Yes. Did Shags tell a woman to stay limber? Metastep wants to be Diana's pool boy. Farm boy. Yeah, I think, guys, I do think that, it was a solid rant this morning. I'm never trying to talk down to anyone. And I think that that's generally what comes back to everything in this channel now is I want to find a way to get to encourage people to find that purpose within them. And honestly, it requires myself to do the same. I'm just as guilty of it as any of not staying motivated a lot of times and taking the easy way out. But that's not how we get things done. Taking the shortcut and expecting the result of the hard path is not a good place to be mentally. It takes work. It takes work to work a farm. It takes work to raise a family. It takes work to build a better home, to build a better frame of mind, to build a YouTube channel. All these things take extra work, and you can't always play, and it, as much as I want to, I'm 39. Do I want to goof off when I can? Sure. But what I want to do more than anything is to spend my time connecting with others on a much deeper level, in understanding that, and helping people understand that the road is long, but it can be really fun and exciting. But it's gonna hurt along the way, and that's okay. Accepting pain as a meaningful stepping stone to the next objective. It's hard to convince people of that. It really is. But there's been times that I've had to do it. There's times that I've had to, really forego something in order to accomplish. And they might even be small things, but I was like, oh no, I can't do that. I gotta knock this project out, and everything was better. And honestly, it took less time than I ever realized. And that's, again, it kind of goes back to, the midweek hump ending, not because not because there's any bad blood anywhere. It's because I felt I haven't put in a enough time with myself to I haven't invested enough in myself to bring everything I possibly can. And that's a problem. I need to invest more in myself and giving that time to growing my side of things and not just as a group. Because I don't even know how much of you guys totally understand my position on a lot of things. Well, this is what I'll say, guys. I love y'all. You guys are great. We have the midweek hump tonight. We're just going to be hanging out ourselves. We're setting up for our finale episode next week. We have a lot of cool guests. We have a couple of really awesome ones confirmed at the moment. And I look forward to others who will join throughout the night. But yeah, I'm going to. Thank you, Diana. I try. I am trying. I'm trying. Um, but yeah, we have we have a great deal of stuff coming in the future on this channel, which I'm really excited for. A lot of great interviews planned for October. I'm sorry, October. Wow, August is what I meant. And then onwards and upwards from there. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, we have a lot of fun in Discord. The activity in Discord has been growing. If you're not in there or you're not part of the conversation in there, turn on notifications for my channel for my server, because we're doing watch parties. We're just sitting there chatting during the day. We're playing games. We're sharing our workouts. We're trying to keep everyone held accountable where we can. Like, if you're into working out and you want to hold yourself accountable, like, join the health section and post your workouts, post your gains. Like, it's really great to see. I want to try and help motivate people to be better, to do cool things, and be a part of this whole thing. So I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We're starting. I look forward to sitting down and hanging out with the panel. And that's it. Love you guys. Have a good day. Be good, and we'll see you tonight.